But first, some big news here on the U.S. Report. And I tell you what, this is very exciting, hot stuff here. Because I reckon we might have a new viewer joining the U.S. Report family. And I think who it is might surprise you. Now, if you were watching last week at this time, I recited for you what I call Morrow's first rule of politics. Let me make this prediction. The 2028 election will follow Morrow's first rule of politics, which is to say that all things being equal, the more normal candidate wins. Smart guy there. Yeah, that's right, because all things being equal, again, as I say, the candidates who think is more normal, who is more relatable, who fits into their frame of reference, walks away with it. And guess who is now taking this advice to heart? Well, it's none other than California governor and 2028 Democrat nominee frontrunner, the suave, slick-back Gavin Newsom.
There's no doubt that the Democratic Party needs to be, dare I say, more culturally normal. I believe that. Less prone to spending disproportionate amount of time on pronouns, identity, politics.
More culturally normal. He's been watching the show because that was Newsom doing an infomercial. Sorry. Not an infomercial. I meant an interview with CNN's Dana Bash this week. And yes, the rest of it was just as nauseating as you'd expect. But you know what? There's a couple of funny things about this. Number one, if you listen to his statement there, it's clear that Gavin Newsom doesn't actually believe it in his heart. He just sees acting normally, emphasis on the acting, as a tactic to win power. Which is why, should he become the Democrat nominee, no one should fall for the act, given his radical leftism has ruined what was the once great, prosperous, and indeed safe state of California. And the other reason why this is amusing is, well, presumably if he wants to lead the Democratic Party and he wants them to be normal, this week we saw just what a heavy lift he's got in front of him. Now, of course, on Tuesday night in Washington, Wednesday afternoon here in Australia, Donald Trump delivered an epic State of the Union address. It was a tour de force. It was record long, and it was a celebration of American greatness. But what were other Democrats doing while the president was speaking? Have a look.
Fresh out of an ICE prison in Minneapolis. I've been arrested 3 times by ICE over absurdity, over us being ourselves, over me singing songs like, "Hey, Mr. Tangerine Man, get rid of brown people for me."
Yeah, I know what you're thinking there. Morrow, what the hell was that? Well, in fact, it was apparently the Democrats' official alternative State of the Union that they called the State of the Swamp. Some very normal areas here. And Governor Newsom, in your quest for new normality, my friend, this is what you are up against. And the event also featured the usual 2-minute hate, where the crowd booed whenever J.D. Vance came on the screen. What a fun crowd. Meanwhile, at another leftist event called the People's State of the Union, doesn't that sound like fun? MSNBC host Joy Reid attempted to lead the crowd in a rousing song. Join in if you know the words.
Here, keep it going. Whatever you, whoo, it's all right with me.
Yeah, sorry, no, I didn't know the words either, and neither did the crowd, apparently. Which brings me back to Donald Trump, who, compared to all of this nonsense I just showed you, did exactly what I, and now Governor Newsom, advised when he delivered his State of the Union. Take normal positions, and the people will follow. Yet the Democrats, despite the fact that Trump has been doing this to them, setting this normality trap against them for more than a decade now, keep falling into it. I mean, seriously, how hard is it for the Democrats to stand up for American citizens over illegal migrants? Quite literally, they couldn't.
You agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Not only could they not stand for this most basic of propositions, it seems very simple to me, but afterwards, some of them actually went on TV to have a sook that the idea that American citizens, be they white or brown or black or blue, should come first with the federal government. Here's Oregon Democrat Janelle Bynum.
Thinly veiled racist language, anti-immigrant language in what he was asking, and that was uncomfortable.
That was uncomfortable. Oh, we can't be uncomfortable now, can we? Anyway, as far as just be normal, well, on that one, they failed the test. There were other moments, too, when Trump talked about stopping irreversible gender transitions being performed on minors, under 18s, too young to buy a beer or get a tattoo, and with their parents kept out of the process.
Surely we can all agree no state can be allowed to rip children from their parents' arms and transition them to a new gender against the parents' will. Who would believe that we've been talking about this? We must ban it, and we must ban it immediately.
Again, the Democrats failed the normal test. They sat on their hands. And these weren't just isolated incidents. Time and again, whether it was about ending insider trading by members of Congress or paying tribute to the victims of crimes committed by illegal migrants, the Democrats in the chamber sat on their hands. And guess what? Not surprisingly, the American people noticed, which tells me something else. Now, remember that bit I showed about the illegal aliens and American citizens? The president made a massive bet when he said that line, when he called on Democrats to stand up for American citizens. Because had the Democrats simply stood up there in the chamber, joined their fellow Republicans, joined their fellow legislators elected by Americans to serve Americans, well, had they done that, Trump would have been left snookered. But they have also now just cut the first ads of the coming midterm campaign. Because here's what one American voter who watched this spectacle had to say.
They gave a middle finger to the oath of office that they took. In fact, their new oath of office is oppose Trump. On anything, on any situation, the one thing that they seem to want to come together on is to oppose Trump. Trump could find a cure for cancer, and they would find a reason to disagree with it.
Well said. That lady was right. What we saw was a disgraceful display of Democrat petulance where they couldn't even applaud simple common sense or basic dignity. And she wasn't alone. According to CNN, yes, CNN, Americans liked Trump's speech no matter what the Democrats complained about. CNN's poll showed viewers approved of the speech 63 to 36%. All this means that as the midterms come into view, we are going to see a lot more of Donald Trump leaning into the campaign for individual seats and for the Congress itself, and he is not going to let the generic Republican brand carry the show. That's a very good strategy, because if things go the way I think they are going to, in 9 or 10 months from now, a lot of those petulant Democrats will be looking at each other in the House chamber, saying, would it have been that hard for us to stand?